Maybe I'll meet my best friend in the metaverse. Touchdown like an alien, trying to find a way I can stay in a new town. See a glass house with a stadium.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Omakase Show webinar series. My name is Wawa Orowana, and I'm hosting this series. And before we dive into our webinar today, just a quick reminder that you can go to our account on X, which is the Omakase Show, and send your support in Ethereum, which is highly appreciated. And today we have an amazing artist and kind of like different storytelling form. We have Orkhan here with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a lot of preparation behind. So yeah, can you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself, though I know you're highly celebrated in this space.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting, first of all. And thank you everyone for listening and who will be listening. So I will just directly share my screen and go deep dive in on my story. I will share some links. Whenever you want, you can stop me, ask me any question, or if anyone wants to ask a question, you can post comments or can reach somehow. Let's say 1 second. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Let me share full screen so it's more easy to jump. Okay, do you see my screen?
Okay, perfect. It is live, yeah.
So the story is, who is Orkhan? I'm an artist, a creator, a builder. Ilonfais, I'm just the person who is working the intersection of cultural heritage and computational creativity. I will explain why all these different phases I highlighted. In the center of these three circles, my own cultural heritage and the general interest of my cultural heritage and old stories, my skill set in computational creativity, and then my philosophy to approach everything is as a design thinking. When we look at my background, I started coding and design around age of 11, 12. So it was very basic, very amateur, and through the years, I developed myself and I become actually self-taught. This graphic designer, web designer before attending the university, and in the university I started already generating from that income. So the first of my, let's say, the life started as a computer scientist and software developer. I built website systems, platforms, mostly like a front-end approach more than the back-end. But I understand it's so boring for me. I cannot handle with this all. I'm more creative and I want to more go to the design side of that. I moved to Turkey and studied visual communication design in Bilgi University. It gave me much more deeper understanding about how actually we understand the visual world that all around us and how we perceive data, how actually all advertising works, and etc. But specifically, my favorite was more interfaces, more the things that there was interaction with human and the machine. And through my, let's say, this education year, we saw a lot of different type of methodologies, media, and I decided I will continue my education with studying fine arts and experimental media, which is more focused on these generative art systems, more building visual languages with code and algorithms. And mean that since 2014 and 18, I participated in a bunch of audiovisual festivals. I was focused on more audiovisual, more VJing, more creating these concert visuals and attending, creating installations with and attending to the festivals. It kind of lost interest when I start to go deeper, kind of building more audience, and also the nightlife. Because when you work in the music industry, you have to go to a lot of the parties, festivals, and it's like super tiring. And I started to have a lot of health problems, and I said, okay, I need to change the shift to become more commercial. And taking media art, getting more commercialized project, like opening shows, maybe some commissioned installations. And the meanwhile, I discovered AI, and slowly I moved from let's say the time-based art through animations, more generative, more code-based, and more let's say the autonomous systems. And I ask a lot of questions to myself. What do I really love? I love to create things that creates other things. I love everything procedural, everything logical, and everything with a good methodology. This is a quote from Pak, but it's very, very resonates with me, how actually I see the world, and how I like algorithmic approaches, how I like creating my own tools, and how I like to.
And may I just tap you right there? What are algorithmic approaches? If you were explain it as to a kid, right?
Sorry?
If you were explain to a kid what is algorithmic approaches, how would
Algorithmic
you do it?
approaches is everything is like how you build your project management, how you make a planning, how to create the different scenarios in all things that you are around building, and you're understanding that everything is. This is the one part. For example, this is a number game. As much as you have a reach, as much as you have a voice, or let's say the open calls. If there's 100 open calls, if you apply 100 of them, and at least you will get the 10 of them. If you apply like a one, you will have a chance of one. So this is a algorithmic approach to one of like a lifestyle. The algorithmic approach is the creating artwork, and not just instead of the creating illustration in the one piece of the artwork. This illustration could be algorithmic, and it can be driven by the data. It can be procedural. So in this way.
Thank you so much. Pretty clear.
You're welcome. And I like to visualize data in unconventional ways. So in 2019, it kind of started to shift in my career, and once I understand and I build all my skill set till 2019, I kind of divided my life to 5 chapters. So if you know Leonardo da Vinci's life, Picasso's life, all these guys had a different chapter of life, like a Picasso blue period, for example. So I divide my life, this period of 5-year chapters, that I will research, go deep dive, and I will do all ideas what I can do all around of these topics. And during this timeline, I had 12 solo exhibitions, 20 group exhibitions. I released more than 11 digital art collections, created more than 100 one-of-ones, sold over 1,378 artworks, and supported by amazing more than 1,500 unique collectors. So everything started with an invitation to participate in Venice Biennale. So till 2019, I kind of built my, let's say, research. I did everything what I could, from post photography, videography, create websites, like all whatever, like beside the sculpture and dancing, and singing, I almost did all tried creative ways of realizing the ideas. But I wanted to always have something, let's say, this chapter is like the topic that focus on. And so my personal identity background is I'm from originally Azerbaijan, and if you know from Azerbaijan is a country that was part of the Soviet Union for a long time, and we really our identity is stolen. They look at this Soviet Union. They didn't let people live their own culture. They didn't let them live their own identity, their own religion, and everything was this communism, and they let people kind of secretly hide and live their own homes and tell these stories from generation to generations, and. And this affected to our as a mentally. For example, my family during the first Karabakh War, when the Soviet Union collapsed, my family forced to immigrate from displaced actually from Armenia to Azerbaijan, which is there were ethnic Azerbaijanis living in Armenians, and so we came to Azerbaijan. My parents came to Azerbaijan with 3 kids. Then with my 3 sisters, I wasn't alive yet, and they kind of start everything from scratch without anyone. Our grandparents died. They had no one almost here. So this and when we were growing up, I came to world. I grew up in the family that's speaking in partly in Azerbaijan, partly in Russian. Schools was also partly in Azerbaijan, partly in Russian. Later, at 6th grade, like when the high school started, I chose to study in Turkish school actually because it was a much more advanced education there. And all this multiculturalism idea, and I stayed away from home for a long time, just like grow up alone since 16 to let's say the rest of my life. This identity crisis that I know 3 languages. I know these 3 languages as my own languages, like a natively, psychologically, feeling you in that language, in that culture. And then who are you as a human? And when someone is asking you where you're from, you're struggling to say like, okay, I'm from Azerbaijan, but whole of my life I lived in Turkey and abroad. And it's totally shifted the perception. I'm not the same as if I would be living for a whole life in Azerbaijan. So I choose my own cultural heritage as a topic and research. Research topic. Sorry, and in that time, in end of 2018, beginning of the 19. Azerbaijani government made an open call for participation in Venice Biennale to sending commissioning artists to create an installation, and and this was immediately I had already a few ideas to discover, to explore, and I made a visualization, wrote a statement, and presented, and they choose to send me that exhibition. Here's that video from that installation.
Culture is a source of inspiration and education, and that is why humanity has kept and preserved it. Society conserves culture by constantly repeating traditions, values, rules, and rituals. Cultural development leads to optimizing processes by using new technologies. In a computer epoch, data becomes the crucial form of a cultural communication instead of traditional narrative. Circular repetition's visual component imitates traditional Azerbaijani patterns. As a result, viewers see how AI can build new alternatives. These alternatives have a synthetic nature that has nothing to do with the history of authentic ornament patterns. AI imitates and fakes a traditional learning process, usually handed down from generation to generation. By accessing the data of authentic ornament images, AI becomes an independent master that can invent new ideas to update culture.
I'm sorry, so if I understand correctly, you were using AI way before we had ChatGPT as an open source AI instrument.
Yeah, I started AI in 2016 when the NVIDIA released their first public models. And in this installation I created in 2000, okay, I had the whole architecture in 2018 and I realized it in 2019.
That's incredible. And the last question around Venice Biennale, on this video, is this a pattern of Azerbaijan traditional tiles, or is this like rugs, or in general like this ornaments that we see in white? What is it?
So that ornaments are about the multiculturalism. So there's this Islamic patterns. Let's say I can show in Google. So these patterns is all over the world. Like every culture who has a Middle Eastern background or close to the Islamic culture, they share this pattern everywhere, and all cultures are claiming that it's their pattern. So actually, it's everyone's pattern, and I just collected almost the patterns that from Azerbaijan and from different cultures, and trained them and created this pan-Islamic visual language. Let's say the pan-Islamic geometric pattern that it's all about everyone, not a single one.
That is so impressive. Everyone is super impressed. I see in comments that you started exploring AI in 2016. And this combination of patterns is also incredible. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, just like there are a lot of points that I really want to clarify.
Thank you. So, and I was also asked another question, that what kind of art can I create that itself creates artwork? And I kind of build this bulletproof workflow that includes, it's like a custom software pipeline, includes a lot of different ways of creating artwork and visualizing its data and post-processing it. But for this kind of workflows, you always need input, and the input is the data set. But how to take data set? I cannot just download random images, and I cannot take also the images that I like without their consent. So it's for achieving this, I start to collaborate with cultural institutions, government organizations, NGOs, or with some budgeting. I start licensing or hire the company who is going and researching and making archives and collecting this data set for you. But like this old data sets, and there was one data set that very particular, that is it's not owned by anyone. Like it's owned by the physical object is owned by the who have the physical object, but the picture of that, the image of that is actually publicly available and is belong to the culture itself. So the carpets, it's the patterns handled through the generations to generations. No one knows who made that first, that image, that composition, that shapes, that ornament. And this is like a Chalabi carpet from Azerbaijan, and no one knows who first started, but it's it's in one region that always was making these patterns. And I ask another question, that how can I create a carpet that will merge itself with all the carpets that have been made so far? And I collected all kind of carpet patterns that I could find legally, ethically, with collaborating different museums and archives. I created this project that called the idea of saving aesthetics. It was also in 2019, and it participated in Moscow Biennale in Russia. So this installation is very interesting, that this line that you see here is a unique AI model that uniquely trained and combined in one composition that gives this aesthetic. And later, this video installation is projected on a white carpet as a video installation on the floor, and people was walking on it, walk around. It was an amazing experience. So in the end of the 2020, I found about NFTs, and in 21, I minted my first works. One of my first work was this work, actually, the idea of saving aesthetic as a one-of-one.
And so actually I wanted to check if we are still on the carpets and rugs. In my culture, I'm from Ukraine, and I know that in what post-Soviet Union countries, carpets are sometimes placed on the wall. It was also a design choice, and kind of like to make it to make your apartment warmer. Is this the same thing in Azerbaijan, in the culture where you are from, and in general?
Yeah, exactly. It was the same in my. We didn't that. I don't remember. Did we had at our home or not? I have like a very bad memory from childhood. But I saw in other people's home, like in my auntie or someone had definitely that carpet on the wall. And also what we were doing, I don't know, can I find it or not? Wedding.
Oh wow, okay, this sounds intriguing.
So so they were putting this, yeah. This was ages ago, 90s or 1945. They were putting this, how the people were making the weddings in small tents in the villages, and behind of the people, the bride and the groom.
Oh wow, it's
They were putting the carpet and writing like "Be happy, welcome." I don't know, something like this, and people were coming and making the photo in front of that.
wow. I was like thinking it's like a little bit like less modern photo zone in a way. Really impressive. Okay, so it's like a whole identity code in Azerbaijan, like the carpet making, carpet purchasing, and okay.
Yeah, this carpet is part of. We normalized it in so that in local we don't understand it, but it's one of the oldest tradable objects in the history, because it was on the Silk Road. Azerbaijan was was one of the biggest carpet producer, handmade, and like Iran as well, and while this travel from this let's say the China to the Europe, and people were stopping by, trading the carpets, purchasing, giving in the return spices or other stuff, and the Azerbaijani carpets ended up in Italy. In now the Rome Pope's home is the house, the biggest in the central. It's Azerbaijani carpet. And also in Renaissance paintings. There is a huge part Azerbaijani carpets that has a huge role and the part of this in the paintings. So let's go back to let's move forward to the my collections. So some of people, like most of people, don't know my old collections, and if you can just have a go through, I will explore them. This is one of my first collection. It's a series of 10 minted on in OpenSea. It's one of the first gun as experiments. Actually, I did this work since 2000. I think it was in 17 or end of the 16. Like it was in winter. And I created this this project as experimenting with gun algorithms before actually moving the carpets and etc. So it's like a the OG early gun artworks, and it's collected by my most cool collectors. After that, in 2022, but meanwhile, I also launched bunch of one-of-ones on Super Rare, on Foundation, and Makerspace, and etc. So this is another series called the Singularity and Heritage. It was a collaboration with the Gazelle Gallery in London, and we released this on Art Dubai International Contemporary Art Fair, and we sold it during the Art Dubai 150 of them, I think, and it was insane experience. So people was kind of in the queue of because we were also selling through the credit card, so you just can tap the credit card purchase, and we will open a wallet, and we were gonna send you everything. So for that reason, it was very successful for me to kind of build my first collector community. And after that, in next year, I released my first generative art project called the Carpet TM. And the itself Carpet TM code, I, for example, created around 2000, the first iteration, like the concept, around 2012, 13, I don't remember. And it was kind of, very funny. You can create a carpet-like patterns in a code. So what to do with this? Nothing. Then I understand that when I saw the first art blogs in 2020, I said, okay, when I will build my community, when I will have a collector base, then I will release a Carpet TM. And it was still the crown of my collections, the favorite, and this will be the most iconic collection in the future after my death and the whole lifetime. And people love Carpet TM. There's a really huge bunch of people. They have huge amount of the Carpet TMs, and they're obsessed. Some of them order the real carpets to handmade. And it's amazing. People support this project. So grateful to them. And my experiment is a collaboration with Raduga Design Studio from Moscow. It's an amazing studio, super cool guys, super innovative people, and we created this Flux series. It's a generative art project also, but it's more hallucinative, more 3P, because I was getting a lot of this carpet that Orkhan, when I'm seeing your carpets, it's like a 3P. It's like a melting, this psychedelic visuals. And I was okay, one day I will create a real psychedelic look like carpet collection that it will look like real psychedelic. And we released this collection on Foundation. It was very successful also, one of my favorites. This is also Echoes of Alhambra. This is a series, is from Encounters exhibition. There was when the Winds of Yanavava by Ilfikanolo is also launched. So all this from the same exhibition. Oh, sorry for noise. Someone's background. Okay. So Morocco data miniatures. After let's gaining my or advancing my knowledge in AI and computer graphics, I was always like waiting the right moment to create that or combine all this information in one collection that will be like as a not just the one shows like a one side of the project, but the all stages of the project. And I decide that okay, first what I will do, I will create a collection and I will release the collection with the chapters, and each chapter will be dedicated to the development of the project. And so Morocco started with the process, and it's a visualization of how actually the AI model works, how it's training, how it's seeing and analyzing all these images and the data sets. And after that, one random image assigned to each collector, and it start to create a animation based on that image, and the down it shows that image's data, and after that, using this video in the third chapter, I've created this pigment simulation and growth this data thread like the particles from that video. So as the video is changing, moving, this long threads also getting longer and smaller, changing, reacting to the colors and the composition. And also, meanwhile, I did a one small one drop, and we participated in Art Dubai. This artwork collected with my good friend Osef. So in this installation, it was immersive installation. In this work, I created a one piece that visualized the creation of the other works. And this like an understanding of the paintings, the creating, the visualizing them, everything. All these works are available on my accounts if you want to go on longer, because of the time it's just moving fast. So this all was part of that visuals and the exhibition.
Extremely impressive, like really impressive one.
Thank you very much. And also meanwhile, I was building my next generative art collection that I wanted to drop, but I also was exploring the ordinals, and I understand that actually ordinals is because that back that time there was impossible to make let's say the on-chain generative art in this level. You could do on-chain generative art, but of course you could not store the P5 code or the generative art code on the chain. And I said, okay, actually the ordinal is the best location for that. And the first I decided that release the collection of 100, but later I understand the market is not ready that price compression, the supply. I raised the supply to 1,000, and it was very successful. And recently we did this print challenge that I did a physical artworks of. So if you collected more than 10 holy miles, I did a physical version of that, like physical prints and the certificates and the whole customization and the special paper and the printing technique. It was very, very amazing. And also I was working on at a project called the Code of Culture at the same time, was exploring how actually the AI model can be the real time and can be part of the generative artwork. And there was amazing examples also. There's some other artists were doing like Echo, and also Pablo and a few other cool artists are was exploring how to combine generative art and the AI models. So and I thought, wow, definitely someone kind of inscribed the AI infrastructure to the Bitcoin ordinals, because all generative art infrastructure is inscribed, but AI would be AI also. Actually, I understand no one is created this this infrastructure. So there is a one framework called the TensorFlow that is, I will say, most of the AI models are working on that. The framework. So I inscribed whole that framework to the Bitcoin, and I created the project that called the Code of Culture. And the Code of Culture is, let me just close this one, because the dishwashing machine is working and it's making noises. So the Code of Culture is a project that combines AI and generative art and my artistic discipline, the carpets. And it was a 512 inscriptions. And how I did this, so I trained my favorite carpet patterns with CPPN AI model, and using the ASCII visualization method, I mapped that outputs from the AI with that characters, and made this series. So it's one of my latest work, favorite work. It's the, I will say, between my all artworks, it's as a pipeline, the creation timeline, it's the most simplest artwork, but I think it's the most advanced as a combination of the technology, and the being like the first of in its case. So
The AI-powered...
I would love to. I forgot also show the documentary small about the Eastern Promises.
The AI-powered paintings presented by Mamedov offer a fresh and innovative take on a timeless artistic tradition, provide a glimpse into the future of art making in the digital age, and raise crucial questions about polarization, redefining our rapidly developing world, as well as exploring and preserving the social and cultural heritage of humanity, with its own intricacies, in a way that has yet to be decoded by future generations.
So we talk about singularity and heritage. We talked about Eastern Promises. This is the artworks from the series. We talked about the carpet theme. And flags. This is the visualization of flags, how it selects the carpet from pattern and melts it. And the later, after trying all of different how AI can create, how AI can visualize, how AI can do, I ask another question, that what machines are actually thinking about when they are painting? And I created this Marakas documentary.
From the silent dawn of the universe to the vibrant tapestry of human existence, the Muraka data miniatures encapsulate our journey spanning eons.
To hear voice, right? Sound.
Yeah.
Cultures have sung unique verses in humanity's epic, each leaving a mark on art and identity. Wars, diversity, and revolutions have sculpted our heritage, now reborn in the beginning of end. Is a fusion of ancient craft and machine creativity and explores the essence of art across eras. It's a transformative dialogue, challenging perceptions of art and technology. Here, history and future, analog and digital, converge, inviting us to rethink our role in a world shaped by our creations. Morocco.
So we go through Morocco, and this was the Morocco's the Genesis artwork that we made an auction on Super Rare. So this artwork is my first artwork that is combines all process and the mindset of what AI is thinking about. So in this series and in this artwork, actually, I tried to show the AI's brain, like what's happening inside it, not what is creating, but what the creation process, how would look like if it would be the data sculpture. So that was my most advanced pipeline work, I would say. So we talk about code of culture and what is next. Do you have any questions, by the way?
I'm just soaking. I'm really, I don't know, like shocked by the amount of mediums that you use, the difference between each collection. I was just wondering, within the last artworks that you were showing, how do you kind of explain what kind of form of the sculpture you want to have as in result? I'm not sure if my question is clear enough, but yeah, okay. So how do you explain to any AI source that you're using that this abstractions should look like this, or you don't, and this is the initial result that you get?
Okay, so this is data visualization in Houdini and how it happens. Let's see. So, for example, in this series, in this artwork, sorry, I would say, okay, there should be, I want to see, or let's say the constructions of AI and how it should look like. Approximately, I'm giving a direction that there should be a central brain that is core, and there should be different effects that neurons explaining different parts of the process and so far. And my goal was to, one second, also not here, should be here. Okay, so the all images that I used in the Creating Muraka series, I created a video of it. It's called like a Stalgan output. But how a Stalgan output is working? You put bunch of thousands of images in one pool, let's say, and it finds the most common similarities between all this data set, and it creates the new alternatives based on their similarities. So kind of combines all and kind of like creates a unified version of that, and it's transitions as a this kind of interpretation video. So I took sorry.
No worries.
I took this, let's say the all images, all the all data that we have, and applied this to applied to this video, and the each changing in that video, for example, the color or the, let's say, the optical flow data, that is like pixels location, how it's moving to nearby, and all this applied to the different parameters of these visuals. Let's say that if the color is changing, it's each pixel, for example, here is representing one thread. So one thread, this line is coming from one pixel, and each time is that pixel is changing its color, this is also going longer and shorter. And all this small information inside that how they are actually the moving, or if you will see the itself, it's not moving. We are moving around the artwork. So this is the constructions. This is like there is data flow, there is information flow, but because AI's latent space, we call, is a unified, okay, at the same time, everything at the same place. So I decided to do this approach.
That's extremely interesting. And also, like, a following up question. This is something I actually don't know. So how, you kind of partially explained it too, but I'm still curious. How do artists create data-driven artworks? So you have a bunch of data that you kind of like...
To creating that artwork, I think you need to be multidisciplinary person. You cannot be just like an artist to create that. For example, you need to know at least the programming language Python. You need to know expressions in the Houdini. You need to know the Houdini. You need to know you can create, let's say, the input data, but you need to know the Houdini for that and touch designer. And you need to have, let's say, a little bit more mathematical background to understand the equations and able to calculate the parameters and etc.
Okay, sorry. So the one was saying about this. It's weird, but every data-driven artwork is really good looking. Like, I'm thinking about Traffic Canado's artworks, the one you just shown to us. Why so? Are you working to make it prettier on top of it, or is it something that is just like the way it is? It just looks really good.
So because uploading just bunch of 8,000 pictures, pressing one button, creating the video output based on that algorithm you didn't develop, including me and the Refik and other like academically studied artists are thinking these ethical concerns. So the output of the guns is not just enough. You need to put your own perception and interpretation, how you want to visualize this data.
Thank you. This is extremely interesting. Okay.
Because going there, like my father, he's a doctor, and I can show him in one day. He can just also copy like a 10,000 images, collect data set, upload an algorithm, press button, wait like a few hours or day, and generate video, cut it like 100 piece, release a collection. Will it make him an artist?
Well, doubtfully, but he can try. I mean, he has his shot.
So it's very different style. Like it just raw outputs isn't, the interesting raw outputs selling, or like the considering raw outputs and artwork depends on how. But I think always I want like add some second layer of type of third layer, fifth layer, like transforming that, because AI is not my collaborator. Is that output? Even like if I would create, if I created the code itself, then raw outputs like Alien Draw, for example, from the Elman Maisimov, one of the prettiest, amazing, beautiful AI collections, I think, in the generative art space. And this legend, this artist and the creator, he created the model itself, he created the code itself, he created the algorithm, and he trained the outputs, and he minted these outputs. This is what I tell is the most dope AI artworks or artists in this space. How like the proper definition of that, because in another ways, like you are much more like a prompter, but now it's almost everything is changed. Like it was very early times. It now like there are so many tools that it doesn't matter now which AI model you are using, because there's so many different things that people are doing, like nice is other one of my favorite, like conceptual artworks, like insanely beautiful, conceptual, provocative, etc.
Yeah, she's amazing. I also love her artworks. It's like a beautiful combination of culture, heritage. Yeah, definitely.
I'm a huge fan. So I ask a question that what if I provide the learned data to the machine as a guidance and let it paint over or create it over. So kind of this reinforcement model of feeding itself with own data. So it's a new series that I'm working on called The Visions of Fantasies. It is another one of my interesting projects, and kind of advancing my let's say the level. I don't know the series limit, how much it will be and how much chapters it will be, but so far I'm like on a third chapter. The first chapter is analyzing all data set and then creating this unified paintings of, let's say, the collective consciousness of the Renaissance paintings. And also dividing them by the mythology or the religion or the Orientalism as a subcategories. So what it does, the AI is understanding image and trying to find subjects in the image more than the concepts, and giving us this collective consciousness, or let's say collective data information, as that each image, each subject, object, human, horse, girl, woman, everything all about, we have the information in the images. We are creating this data science of that, or data analytics of that, sorry. And understanding this, what is inside these guys. And later, in each segment that we analyzed, we are giving new alternative objects inside. So I am not creating the new video or new artwork based on that old painting. I'm actually repainting the paint with its own data. For example, if it's the person 99 percentage, it takes this person and it creates this person's like 100 versions and replace this person different collections, because it's artists could do that, but they didn't that. And just like going inside of the artist's mind in a help of AI and asking questions about that. If the AI is seeing and changing the some items in the painting based on his own decision, is it the same as if we are going to the museums, we are watching the artworks, paintings, we are observing, learning, getting fascinated, coming and talking the paintings about about our friends or to anyone, but and we are kind of interpreting that artwork. Maybe we are adding some memories on that artwork or ideas because our memories is falling. So after some time we leave, let's say some time pass, our memory starts to fail us and it creates different ideas or affects us. So, but we kind of not falling to that. But if AI is creating and mimicking and falling into trap of its own imagination and hallucinating, how much in a society we are giving our life or decisions to the probabilities, not our own decisions, but on probabilities that it could be, and around 80 percentage loves, then all 100 percentage love it or something like this. Yeah, questions?
Everything is clear. I know that we're about to talk about
Very
something
tired.
you've created, not
It's
as an
not a
artwork,
little
but
bit.
as a company. Yeah. So in general, yeah, let's talk about some your startup or your company.
Maybe
Um,
you a little bit talk because I'm really tired.
okay, that's fine.
Keep
So
going.
in general, I will pass it down to me to explain the context of art auction sale happening in Christie's that would be featuring a bunch of AI artists.
The best, yeah.
Um, and there was always an ongoing discussion, debate. Actually, I've never met like in real life or in any interaction or even in my circle a person who would be like super anti-AI art. But apparently there are a lot of them. And so the thing that is happening is a whole petition that is being signed by people to ban this auction, because apparently the claim is that artists that are exhibiting at this auction are using AI models that are using copyrighted art that would be against the view of artists that created these artworks in the first place. And so in general, I know that you kind of like founded a company, an AI model for artists, which is like something that would not generate a bunch of anime images and things like that. Like something that would like work, as far as I understood, based on artistic works already existing, to create something that would be inside of this artist copyright.
Yeah.
Which is really powerful, and I feel like you have like your wave, your moment to talk about your company, especially like right now during this ongoing debate. But in general, I feel like I see the point that it is highly important for professional artists to use AI that would not be using copyrighted art. So in general, if you want, you can just briefly tell us how your startup operates and do you use it currently to create something?
So let's divide by chapters and talk about this algorithmic approach. So the first is AI itself is not stealing anyone's artwork. It's very misunderstanding in whole community, whole everywhere. Yes, the companies that who created, let's say, the Midjourney or other, let's say, the most AI models, they use few data sets, like a huge X amount data sets that is available on the internet. So yes, you train your AI model with artwork. You took these artworks without the permission from this artist, but everyone is also going to looking the Google, the Pinterest, Instagram to make a research to see it. So the learning process of the AI is not individually copies your artwork that, oh, exactly this one. No, there's all artworks, millions of billions of images comes together in a classes. Let's say that this blocks. They clustered by their similarities, color, etc. It's called the latent space. So when you train this diffusion model, it learns not artwork. It learns the how can I say this? It's the features of the artwork, not artworks itself. So the all features from all images or data is once is trained or learned by AI, and when you prompt it, it creates it based on from the noise, like from non-existence, like from just the noise, it creates on your image. And it's how it comes out from the noise, because each word that you write there as a prompt, as a weight, as a token. And in each data set, which is trained AI, is also labeled with the words when they are trained. But not only one word is always trained. For example, Apple. You artist created Apple, for example, photo of Apple. I also, an artist, created Apple. We both artists, as an artist, created Apple. Why my Apple is bad Apple on the internet, yours is good Apple on the internet. So AI is just learning how to draw the apple. It's not mimics like immediately that yours. You have to specify that, copy specifically this keyword to be like this artist in the return. Then yeah, it's copying. But I know the most of artists who is there are legitimate cool artists in the software. I'm not against of this should be this stopped. No, I am not against that auctions should be stopped. No one has a right to stop. Everyone has a right to create, impress themselves how they want. There's just a misunderstanding about how AI model is working, and it's actually their problem is the people is not doing enough research really about that. But when it comes that new copyright era, etc., there's new law passed, I think, or they're passing in the USA as a copyright law that AI images cannot be copyrighted until if you create your own AI that is trained your own AI model. And when photography, for example, photo camera invented, all painters was against of that. It's end of the painting, art, it's finished, that's all dead. The AI is the same thing. It's new way of the creating artwork. You just, instead of going against that, embrace it, research how it works, the technology, how actually this copyright issues is there, who is stole from who and how. And then if you think like you stole, then you don't look anywhere. Like you close your eyes and just blind it, don't look anywhere, because your brain is the works same as the AI is the works same as your brain works. You can copy directly one thing, but it will be either it's a hyperrealism painting you are doing, either you are doing abstraction of the things that you learned in your previous life, in your previous experiences. and you learn by patterns and the features of that artworks, etc., or the data set. So, but how these companies, for example, take this data is unethical. But how AI is creating artwork, it is not unethical. It is very ethical. So the company itself, the Midjourney XXX, they did unethical way because they're a corporation. They don't care how much Midjourney paid artists, for example. Last year they earned $350 million. And how much they paid back to the community or the artists? Zero, nothing. It goes to the pocket of the one guy. But how it should be, I think, it should be, if there's a debate of it's our artwork, it's AI is trained, stolen from artwork, guys, then let's make like this. The Pandora's box is open. There's no way back. You cannot cancel the AI. But what we can do, we can create a decentralized AI platform. And each artist can train their or contribute their own data set to this model, create their own small models to serve in this specific style, or contribute their data to the bigger model to able to all people can, let's say, create and synthesize these ideas. And based on that contribution and the interest, etc., this balanced internal economy, why not then earn? Like, why not to launch it, and why not to own the AI itself instead of going against it and bullying my poor AI and also bullying artists? Or it's amazing actually advertising for them for the whole auction, but I literally don't agree that the auction has to be cancelled. I highlighted in the Genie that we support that ethical ways of creating AI in different ways, but these artists are not copying any others' artworks. They are totally, no one knows like how they work. Like if any artist or the people who wrote these messages they went to check their processes, how they collect data set, how they process the artwork, how they approach their creations. No, there's big just AI hate that anti-AI is taking my job. Like, just be better than AI. Cannot be like a push. Use AI in your works. Change different mediums. Combine. It's you cannot say that camera will kill my work and just add your camera to your skill set. No one says if you're a painter, use AI to generate ideas and paint. I don't know. It's just expands your mindset. So when it comes to the go ahead.
No, definitely. Okay. That makes sense. Like a lot of things that you said. I know that in a way we have to wrap this up. But before we do, I will also share my screen to let people follow Genie, which is Genie Art, and I don't know the translation of this sign, ink. So go ahead and follow, and and maybe just like give it a go.
So the Genie, how I funded, it's fully funded by partly myself and partly the drop that I made in the May. So with a collaboration of 8 artists and 1 Xcopy's CC0 artworks, we trained different AI models of OSF, D-Face, Danjus, Alien Queen, Jack Fried, Grant Yun, and Timpers, and so forth. So, and we created all their unique models for each time that they tried. They fine-tuned the model with their preferences, how they want to act model. And we created this NFT collection that people minted randomly generations. Like a system created, when their mint happened, system created the artwork and minted and transferred to the block, a generative artwork. And we sold 7,000 pieces to 700 people around, and half of the, let's say, the investments from the money that we raised from the Genie, it went to the artist, like 50%. That is how the Genie will also act in the future. Whatever the drops, if they do, etc., we share, and the different models, different tires, and the rest part I invest to the build Genie as a platform, and it took a little bit slow, designing first whole platform, developing the whole platform itself to making it scalable. It took really time, and we are almost in the coming the end of this February. I will give early access to the people who was almost waiting, over 1,000 people who was waiting in the wait list since May. And we will start with them. Later, we will launch our token, our community, building our community, and inviting other amazing artists to collaborate with us.
Okay, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have to finish this webinar, but I just want to thank you so much. I feel like your experience, background, knowledge is extremely exciting, and the one that is like really beneficial to know, especially for artists that are starting to dive into multidisciplinary, experimenting with AI and data-driven artworks. We will definitely be looking on what you're building with Genie, so keep us posted and let us know once you're launching to public. And yeah, thank you so much for your time to join me today. I think this conversation was incredible, and I feel like I see also a lot of amazing comments. So thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you for inviting. It was amazing to share all this with you, and looking forward. Give a shout, give me a question. I'm always available, always there for the people who wants to discuss the art and technology.
Perfect, thanks. So staying in touch and see you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.